being here. He had every intention of being here. This just happened a heck of a lot faster than he thought it would. And he's out in Portland, Oregon, actually helping his daughter move in for the summer session, so he'd be here except for that. I've got the great privilege and excitement of being able to introduce to you all our next women's head basketball coach, Coach Ryun Williams. I'll bring him up to the podium here in a second. I think first what I'd like to do is describe to you all the process that we employed to find Coach Williams. The operative words here that I think are so important are that we didn't go out and look for a coach who was available. We went out and looked for a coach that we wanted. And so we did a ton of digging and researching and sourced Coach Williams' name along with a few other coaches that we thought would make great candidates to be Colorado State's head basketball coach. The process included about 75 applicants and a number of other candidates that we had sourced ourselves as well. We narrowed that down to a list of 9 candidates, interviewed them for a very, very long time, about 4 hours each, narrowed that list down to about 3 and moved into a final round. Coach Williams is sick of me at this point, and picked Coach Williams through a very lengthy process to become our head coach as a result of that. And I can tell you, I think he's a very well-qualified coach. Let me give you some of his background. He is a native of Gillette, Wyoming, as is his wife, Lindy. That is the one negative in his background. He's from the state of Wyoming. Sorry guys. A graduate of Campbell County High School. He was an outstanding student and basketball player at Campbell County High School. He was named Mr. Basketball for the state of Wyoming in 1988. Coach Williams knows how to play basketball. He's a graduate of the University of South Dakota. He got his undergraduate degree from the University of South Dakota. Graduated with honors, including his master's degree from the University of South Dakota. He was an all-conference basketball player at the University of South Dakota, and also, a point of interest, led the nation in free throw percentages at a 91.2% free throw percent. That's not a trivial number. He was also an academic all-conference basketball player at USD. Started his coaching career at Sheridan College, junior college. He was there for 3 years, from 1995 to 1998. Compiled a record of 54-38, including they went 28-5 in his final season at Sheridan. It's always fun to see a coach that's had that level of success, with an expectation that that kind of success could be replicated here as well. After Sheridan, he went on to Wayne State in Nebraska, what Coach Williams has characterized as a one traffic light town, and had 10 great years there from 1998 until 2008. He inherited a team with only 13 wins in 2 seasons when he showed up at Wayne State, and he transformed Wayne State into a legitimate NCAA tournament team for the years that he was there. That was at the D2 level. Compiled a record of 181 wins and 105 losses during that 10-year time frame, including a season that was 27-4 in the 2005-2006 season when they went to the NCAA tournament. From Wayne State, he went on to the University of South Dakota. Record in the 4 years that Coach Williams was at South Dakota was 80-46. During that time frame, it was the first time in USD's history that they made a postseason appearance, and they had their first postseason wins at the D1 level. He was an important part of transitioning the University of South Dakota from a D2 competitor to a D1 competitor, which those of you who know, that's a very, very difficult thing to tackle and to take on, and he succeeded at that significantly. You'll find that defense is a cornerstone of the style of play that Coach Williams will bring to Colorado State University, and that was true at the University of South Dakota. Last season at USD, they were 2nd in the nation in blocked shots. They were 8th in field goal defense. This is at the D1 level. They were 12th in scoring defense, giving up only 52 points per game. And they had the best ever RPI, that's a difficulty of schedule ranking, at the D1 level. They were ranked 87th in the country in terms of difficulty of schedule, and compiled a record of 23-8. And just as a point of reference, our RPI was 186, and we compiled a record of 13-6. I'm sorry, 13 and 16. So clearly he was playing at a very competitive level. They beat 7 teams last year that made postseason appearances, including 3 teams that were in the NCAA tournament. Lifetime record of 315 and 189. This guy knows how to win. And he posted his 300th win in January of this year. So we're very excited about that. I think that in terms of aspirations, Coach Williams and I spent an extensive amount of time talking to one another about what our expectations and standards are going forward. And I can tell you that he and I are hooked at the hip about where we would like to see Colorado State basketball, women's basketball, go. Simply put, it's our expectation that we are going to return to a tradition of greatness where we will be consistently talking about our program being ranked in the top 25 in the country and going to the NCAA tournament consistently. He knows he's inheriting a group of great athletes, great women that are coming back for the 2012-13 basketball season. We have an expectation, he has an expectation, that we will be competing and that we will be competing for the Mountain West Conference, be competing effectively in the Mountain West Conference and even competing for the conference championship. So he will be driving us in that decision. Importantly, he has re-recruited our whole team. Our whole team is back. That's not something to be taken for granted whenever a new coach shows up. So everybody that was on this team that's eligible to play in 2012-13 will be playing, including all of the recruits that were signed earlier this year. He's contacted all of them, and all of those recruits are showing up as well. So that in and of itself is a great accomplishment. I can tell you that Coach Williams and I talked about what does it take to achieve the expectations, the standards that we have for ourselves and for our university. And we say there's 2 things that we need to have here to win, and to win effectively. And they're really complicated. Number 1, we need people. We need great people. We've got great student athletes that are on our basketball team. We need great coaches. And I'm thrilled to turn this podium over to Coach Williams to allow him to talk to you about the coaching staff that he has recruited and that will be coming along with him. I will say without hesitation that I think he has recruited perhaps the finest coaching staff in the country. When you hear about them, you'll be very excited. So that's number 1, people. We've got great coaches and we've got great student athletes here. And then the second piece is resources. It always takes money and resources to run any business or any athletic program successfully. And we're making real investments in Colorado State basketball, women's basketball. He's seen the budget that's committed to our basketball program for the coming basketball season. It's very different than what was there in prior years, and it will hopefully give us the resources combined with the great people to enable us to compete at the most competitive levels going forward. And again, I'll let Coach Williams talk about and introduce his staff, but I would like to take a moment and just introduce his family, this all happened very quickly. We got to an agreement with one another on Saturday, and Coach Williams was able to bring his whole family with him. His wife, Lindy, is here with us. Lindy and his 2 daughters, Natalie and Emily. Natalie will be a freshman in high school, and Emily will be moving into the 6th grade. So welcome you guys to Fort Collins and Colorado. Chance to meet his wife Lindy, you'll agree, as all of us have said about most of our wives, he married up big time. So with that, it's my great privilege and pleasure and with great excitement that I turn the podium over and welcome to Colorado State our new head women's basketball coach, Coach Ryun Williams.